Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on this Tuesday afternoon. Once again, an immigrant in the country illegally has struck again. A couple of them did. This is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg, and we are just seeing the beginning of this crisis. And I'll explain and go in more detail here in a moment. But first, real quick, a public service announcement. If you were thinking about buying a new vehicle, you really need to do some research, because the quality of new vehicles overall, I believe, is much worse than it ever has been. Well, I don't know about ever has been, but in recent modern times. There's so many recalls, you guys. I mean, even the big name like Toyota. But I saw this one earlier today. Ford is recalling over 550,000 of their trucks for transmission issues. The transmissions can suddenly downshift into first gear. That's not good. This is on the F-150, the best-selling full-size truck for years and years and years. The F-150 starting from year 2014. Didn't specify the trim levels, but if you own an F-150, you should be getting a notice. If not, you need to check with your dealer, okay? Toyota is not immune to this. I mean, just about every manufacturer has recalls, especially right now. But also Toyota. The Grand Highlander, the 2024 Grand Highlander and Lexus TX. The Tundra, some of y'all might have heard about this. The Tundra, year 2022, 2023, debris in the engines. The engines can just stop while you're driving. That's possible. Hearing nightmares about this, y'all. And it's not just engine, it's got all kind of issues. The new Tacoma that came out, a new redesign in 2024, got issues. Now, I know every new model vehicle is going to have some bugs, going to have some issues, but this is excessive, okay? Really think about before you buy new. I would not recommend buying a new vehicle in the first redesign model year, okay? Wait at least 2-3 years. Sad, but that's what you have to do. I don't know when I would buy a new one again, if ever, personally. We have older vehicles. Well, we have, this one's 20 years old, of course. We have a 2018 RAV4. Thing runs like a top. Just gonna keep that thing and run it, right? But anyway, just wanted to bring that to you. Also, but just not just vehicles, but just since 2020, 2021, the quality of a lot of stuff has gone down. Customer service, people, I shouldn't say that. Customer service, food, both in restaurants and in the stores. Check it. You know, you really have to be careful. If there's a local source, buy from that if possible. And that's with any food. Or grow what you can. Okay. Back to this. This is just the beginning. I believe we're just seeing the tip of the iceberg, because millions of these folks are in the country. And we're hearing about heinous crimes. I mean, just horrific. And you've heard about the Lake and Raleighs that happened down the road from here, and some others around the country. This was in Houston, Texas. But I'll go into it here in a minute. But we've got to make an effort, and I know many of you probably do this already, but to protect our young, our children, our grandchildren. It's bad enough that they're indoctrinated in public schools. Even private schools, I'm hearing things. I mean, they're not immune to this infestation, this evil. But it's enough that they're indoctrinated, but they also have to worry about physical safety. I mean, think about it. I mean, I know, and I've mentioned this before or alluded to it before, but I mean, we grew up, my age group, we grew up, late 70s, we were really growing up. I was born in 65, so, mid to late 70s, early 80s, we've grown up. And or earlier than that. And growing up, we lived in a very average middle-class neighborhood. Not a gated community by any means, nothing like that. But we didn't think anything about going outside and playing, riding our bikes. We rode miles. Our parents will never know how far we rode those bikes. They'll never know. They would be shocked to this day, okay? But we didn't have a worry. Now, we lived in, like I said, a very middle class neighborhood in metro Atlanta. Close to Atlanta, actually. And it was safe. It really was. We didn't worry about it. A different time. That was such a different time. Compare that to now. Take your average middle class neighborhood. A little different, isn't it? We didn't worry about going to amusement parks, the fair, movies, Six Flags over Georgia, parks, the mall. We didn't worry about it. We just went. And we didn't always have a parent near us. Didn't have to worry about it. We didn't. I'm sure we were blessed, but still, it wasn't a big deal back then. Now, this guy, there were two of them, but this focuses on the second individual, this heinous crime that happened near Houston, Texas. This guy received he's getting a $10 million bail. They lured this 12-year-old girl, these two guys, in their early 20s, lured this 12-year-old girl away under a bridge, saying something about needing directions. I think is what somebody said. Who knows? She suffered for hours, y'all. The worst you can imagine. Before they murdered her. At least one suspect had a bite mark on his arm. They noticed after he was arrested. They also noticed on his cell phone that evidence that he was looking for a quick way out of the country. Right after their images, their pictures were being shown on local media in the area. They said they have overwhelming evidence on both of these guys. But this guy, the second guy here, a $10 million bail. There should be no bail. No bail. 12-year-old girl, y'all. In the court hearing where the judge talked about this bail, there was a woman, presumably the mom, was yelling at the judge, yelling at the guy. I don't blame her. I'd be doing more than yelling. I'd probably be in jail too. I will tell you that. But anyway, she was yelling at the suspect. You call it a suspect, the guy, yelling at him, saying, "Look at me, look at my face. Murderer, monster." I don't blame her. This stuff is not going to stop, unfortunately. It's going to increase. I don't think we've seen anything yet, unfortunately. I think it has the potential to get to horrific levels. I really do. With millions and millions and millions of them streaming in as we speak. Many are coming in right now. It'll continue. Do all you can to protect our young people, because they're coming after them in more ways than one. And we know about some of the other ways they're coming after the youngsters. I can't imagine growing up in this world today. I don't know. It's such a different time than when we were growing up. No bail. There should be no bails. Justice should be swift and public. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They say the last moments of this girl's life had to be unspeakable and horrendous. 12 years old, y'all. I can't get over that. I know. And we hear more and more about just other situations like this. But to post a bail, to say, to put a bail on this guy, no. It's unfathomable. I can't get it through. I can't process it. But that's part of the problem. Justice is not swift or at all for these folks. They find excuses for them. The one down here in Athens, down the road from here, the Lake and Riley case, probably heard about it. Remember that guy? Not long ago, they're talking about just the sentencing as life without the possibility of parole, no death sentence. It's Athens, Georgia, you know. It should be public and it should be swift. It should be about it should be as unspeakable as what they did to their victim, in my opinion. Eye for an eye. Go Old Testament on them. Old Testament. Dawg would be going Old Testament on them guys. Guarantee it. I mean, that's the way it should be. There's virtually no deterrent. All right, I had to vent. But we need to look after ourselves, look after our loved ones, our family, the ones close to us. You got kids, you got grandchildren, look after them. Do all you can. I know you can't have eyes on them 24/7, but do what you can. As adults, we need to look out for each other as well. Male, female, don't matter. Do what we can to protect each other. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take that. It's like the Wild West. Except it ain't just in the West. It's everywhere. That's what it's becoming. And is already. What's it going to be a year from now? What's it going to be 3 years from now? I'm going to go to a passage because that will make me feel better. Going to Isaiah. Isaiah, back to chapter 53, verse 6, but I'm going to start with 5. Y'all know it's difficult for me just to read one verse. I have to have more. I have to give more than that, right? All right. Again, Isaiah chapter 53, verse 5 and 6 says, "But he was pierced for our transgressions, crushed because of our iniquities. Punishment for our peace was on him, and we were healed by his wounds. We all went astray like sheep. We have all turned our own way, and the Lord has punished him for the iniquity of us all." He made the sacrifice for us all. Old Testament, talking about Jesus. I love it when they talk about Jesus. He took it on himself. The Lamb. We all go astray at times, don't we? We all do. We're human. We're in a broken world and we're human. We all fall short of the glory, right? So we all stray at times and falter and have our little ways. But he knows that. That's why Jesus came. So that we may have him as a Savior and be saved. And be whitewashed by him. So let's remember that. And let that encourage us to keep close. We always say it. Keep close to Jesus. Let's also be careful and watch after each other. God bless you. I will see you soon.